Are you guys tired of loading into games of FIFA with no actual idea how you're going to line up your team and actually beat your opponent? You see, ladies and gentlemen, it's all good having a God squad, but loading into a game with a God squad and without any tactics, it's like rocking up to eat your dinner with a knife and without a fork. Think that makes sense. But fear no more, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'll be showing you 4 of the greatest formations on FIFA 23 that all the pros are using for the end game. These are the best 4 tried and tested formations so that you're absolutely covered to have the best tactics to last you for the rest of FIFA 23. Now, speaking of God squads, ladies and gents, as you can see here, Jesus on toast, we have got it absolutely flying. So with the formations, ladies and gents, we're going to start off with a formation to close out a game. We're then going to go into my main formation, the one I'd advise for you guys to give a go in FUT Champs, in Div Rivals, in them sweaty games to get better. Then we have another very meta formation that's slightly more attacking, and then finally, the all-out attack, the kitchen sink, if you will. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, into the first formation we go. We have got the 5-4-1. Now, click off the video. Look, I can hear some booing. Look, 5-4-1, unfortunately, it really is a situation where if you can't beat them, join them. And you have to do this, guys, if you want to close out games, or it just becomes too difficult, especially with all the crazy constant press, etc. that we have in the game these days. Now, the tactics on this are very, very balanced. 50 width, 60 depth. I'm not trying to completely sit back to the point where you just invite an unbelievable amount of pressure, because then you're just going to make it too difficult for yourself, right? You want to be in a situation where you've got a lot of players back, but you're also in a position where you can still step up, tackle the opponent, you know, if they're on the attack, and you want to like jump with your center back. The good thing with the 5-back is, let's say you come out with the center back and they get past you, you know, you've got that extra bit of security behind you. So we've got 60 depth, the build-up play on balance, now chance creation, direct passing. This is going to be the most important thing throughout this whole video. It'll be on every single formation. Every pro player, such as myself, uses it, and I'll be honest, you need to be using it all day long. 50 width, 3 players in box. You know, if we win a corner, we don't want the whole team going absolutely off to France when we're trying to defend over in Colombia. Yeah, that made no sense. Corners on 1, free kicks on 1. But yeah, the 5-4-1, of course, the important tactics on this one. Now, this is a very, very defensive setup, guys, so I'll be honest. So you literally have got come back on the fence on the striker. You've got come back on the fence on the left mid, come back on the fence on the right mid. The 2 centre midfielders stay back while attacking and make sure to put cover centre on the defensive position. And then finally with the fullbacks, you've got stay back while attacking and also stay back while attacking on the left wing back as well. And then the 3 centre backs just completely normal. So that makes up the 5-back, and that is one you really want to switch to if you're winning by a goal or 2. Your opponent's kind of coming at you quite a lot and you want to just close out the game. This has been tested over the whole year. This is the best formation to switch to at the end of a match. Let's get into our normal formation now. And next up, guys, we have got the 4-3-2-1, a formation that's become massively meta this year in FIFA 23, and I'll go through a couple reasons why here. So I have the width on 47, the depth on 64. I would say the depth anywhere between 55 and 70 is quite good with the 4-3-2-1, something like that. You don't want your team too high, but then also, again, I'm a firm believer in not wanting your team too far back to the point where you just invite so much pressure. I think it's always a bad thing to do. But one thing with depth is you've got to be wary of the first time through balls that happen in this game, which are obviously just absolutely ridiculously hard to defend. But I'll be honest, even if your depth's on 0, your team will still step up to the halfway line and you will concede first time through balls. So you've just got to be wary of them. The chance creation, again, direct passing, and then all of this is very, very balanced, guys. I quite like my main formation to be balanced. I don't want it to be too set one way, too set the other way. I like to be almost in control of it quite a lot, if that makes sense. But what's so important with this formation is the instructions. That's what makes it the meta go-to formation. So obviously, as we know in FIFA 23, now that we're at the end of the game cycle or thereabouts, we know first time through balls are very popular. We've got German crosses are very, very popular as well. And this formation, the amount of players you've got in one area next to each other just seems to work so well for the meta of this game. So the way this lines up in game, guys, so what we've got is we've got balanced attack on the right back and overlap. And then on the left back, we've got stay back and also overlap, right? You want to be using your fullbacks in this formation. I'll be honest, they're massively, massively advantageous for you when you're in the attack. Sometimes you can be left a little exposed defensively, but that's where you have to be really careful with your build-up and choose your passes wisely. One thing that's so amazing with this formation is the way that it defends in a 4-4-2. So what you want to be doing with this, guys, is on your left centre midfielder, you want cover wing, right, on the defensive position, leave everything else the same. And then on your central and right centre midfielder, you want cover centre on them, right? Now, what this does is, it means going to the right forward in Mbappe, I've got stay central, get in behind, and then come back on defence. This being the very, very important thing. Now, what this does is, this means Mbappe will come back, and when you're defending on the edge of your box and your opponent's attacking, your team will be set out in a 4-4-2, as Benzema is just on getting behind, stay central, and then the basic defensive support. And Neymar, stay central, mixed attack this time, but again, the basic defensive support. So Neymar and Benzema are the two players that are staying forward for me, and Mbappe will be coming back to help out the defense slightly, almost playing as a right midfielder. Another very helpful thing about Mbappe being come back on defense is the fact that, of course, you've got this fullback overlapping and on balanced attack, right? He's not on stay back while attacking. So this helps out Cuadrado. You know, Mbappe can just cover him if he needs to be, and that's what makes this formation so good in game. Like I mentioned, with the meta of this game right now, especially Travellas, German crossers, first time through balls, the 4-3-2-1 just seems to gel everything together absolutely perfectly, and I cannot advise it to you guys enough. And it's a fun formation to play. You feel good when you're attacking in it. Not boring like the 5-4-1, but we did have to use the 5-4-1 for the defensive one. There's no two ways around that, ladies and gents. So that covers the closing out the game. Then we also have my main formation. Now moving on to another main formation of mine. That is one that I'll switch to if I'm just struggling in the 4-3-2-1. Maybe my opponent's tactics, their formation is working better. So the 4-2-2-2 is always a reliable one and always has been on every single FIFA. Now, we've got 42 width, 62 depth. Again, like I said, between the depth, sort of 55 to 70 is always a safe point for me. Then you've got the chance creation, direct passing. And again, because this is kind of a normal attacking formation, this is not the kitchen sink just yet. I like everything to be quite balanced. So that's why I've got 4 players in box, corners on 2, and free kicks on 2. Now, as far as instructions go, guys, this is one of the most basic instructions I have, right? With 4-2-2 being such a balanced formation, I find you don't really need too many instructions on these. So literally all I've got is overlap and stay back while attacking on the fullbacks, right? It just means they'll come up a little bit, but also they'll stay back as well. So it's like, it's kind of a little bit backhanded, but yeah, it does work in game, I find very well. Then on the 2 CDMs, one thing that's really important, and make sure you've got this on, is cover center, right? You do not want your CDMs covering the wing, or literally it'll just be parting like the Red Sea when your opponent is attacking down the middle of the pitch. Let's say they're in a 4-1-2-1-2, it'll just be absolute curtains for you. So make sure you've got cover center on the 2 CDMs, and also stay back while attacking. But then everyone else, as you can see here, is just on basic in every single way. No getting behind or anything like that. 4-2-2 is an absolutely deadly formation for the meta we've got going on in this game right now. So I would say just stick very basic, but 4-2-2 is a very good one to switch to. I've said very like I'm bloody Willie Hodgson. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the formation that is the absolute kitchen sink. The one where you've got no answers left, you're 2-3 goals down or something like that, and you need to just absolutely go for it. This is the best formation that you can possibly try and pull off a comeback with. I can promise you that. So, the 3-4-2-1. Now, instead of constant press, you might want just press after possession loss, but constant press I find is better for me when I'm literally chasing a game to the point where I'm like, right, I've got to get goals absolutely ASAP, Rocky. That was funny. But constant press, very good. We've got the width on 35. Now, the reason being for the width, offensively and defensively, is because this is already quite a wide formation already. So, as you can see here, you've got the players stretched right out wide here. So, it's nice to have a little bit of width come in to win that ball back in the center of midfield. And then if the opponent decides to play it out wide, you know, your players are on constant press anyway. They can absolutely charge out and get them. So, you're all covered there. Again, 60 depth. When we're chasing the game, guys, we don't want to be sat back to the point where we're finding it hard to get the ball back. So, 60 depth along with that constant press should help you absolutely be able to iron out the opponent. Build up play, balance, chance creation, direct passing once again. Width again, 35 as I mentioned. And now players in box on 8, corners on 3, and free kicks on 3. Now, as much as this is the kitchen sink, we are trying to be realistic. We are hoping you can actually pull off a comeback here. So you don't want your whole team in another country while your defense is just sat there like, guys, where are you going? What am I on about? So that is the explanation for that kind of stuff. And then the instructions. Now, there's quite a bit that goes into these instructions, guys. Now, what is so good about a 3-back in this game, and this is why it's been used throughout the whole year and is now still one of the main ones for the end game formations, is the fact that it sort of can defend in a 5-back. Now, we aren't looking to defend in a 5-back here. We're looking at this as more of like, right, you've only got 3 defenders at the back here, and now that everyone else can just charge forward. Now, the centre-backs are just completely normal, and that's the same for all the other formations, guys. The centre-backs basically change nothing. But yeah, what I have here, guys, is the 2 CMs on stay back while attacking and cover centre. Now, you could put these onto balance, right? Like I mentioned before, you do want some sort of defensive help, and you can always trigger the runs forward using L1, which is a very easy way to get your players forward. And I'll be honest, when you're on constant press, there's kind of a bit of a kerfuffle going on in the pitch anyway, if I'm honest. But the cover centre, again, is really important. It means your players are staying central and will be able to help you win the ball back in the centre of midfield. Now, again, with the defensive support here, you've got comeback on defence on both of the left mid and the right mid, and also stay wide for the chance creation. And then finally, on the attackers, you've got Neymar on stay stay central, getting behind, and stay forward. The same for Benzema, stay central, getting behind, stay forward. And would you have guessed it, the same for Mbappe. This is the formation and tactics where you'll really be able to come back quickly and get quite a few goals against your opponent in FUT Champs, in Div Rivals, in them sweaty games. And now we're at the end of the year, guys, let's be honest, there's only sweats left playing. You and me both. Hey, cheeky handshake, fellas, if we're still playing the game right now. But that is the final custom tactics for the end of FIFA 23, boys. These will last you for the entire of the rest of the game and be the best pro tactics, I can promise you that. 5-4-1 to close out a game, the 4-3-2-1 as the main attacking formation, the 4-2-2 if you're looking to switch it up a little bit because you might be struggling in the 4-3-2-1, and then finally the 3-4-2-1 as the absolute kitchen sink job. Jesus Christ, I'm running out of breath here. But hopefully you guys found these tactics helpful. Let me know in the comments down below if you end up using them. And do me a favor, chaps, go and absolutely smash them opponents in FUT Champs, especially the ones that leave while it's a draw. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.